Trading. If you have a full-time job, it's not only possible, but it's actually easier to make it really work. You have less time to overthink your decisions, you spend less time on the charts, and because you already have a job, you have stability. And stability puts you in a much better place to win in trading. Here's the thing though, most of the trading content you see, most of the strategies you have on the internet are absolute garbage. That's because educators, they try to overcomplicate things so that way they can try to sell you something. But the truth is, one simple way of trading is all it really takes to get results. And I know what you might be saying. I don't know anything about trading. I don't know if trading is meant for me, or I don't even know if I have enough capital to make this work. But the reality is that every successful trader has started right where you are now and has started with the same or even less capital than you have. You might even have certain advantages that you don't even realize. By the way, I know this is true because I've now been trading for over 6 years. It's been my full-time career for 4 years now, and I've also helped hundreds of traders add this skill set into their lives, which is a skill that no one's ever able to take that away from them. So if that sounds like something you want to get into, I would say honestly, there is no better time than now in 2026, heading into 2027, to go all in on trading and learn this skill set. My advice is to watch this video in full, take mental notes of the most important parts, and then once you've gone through it, go out there and actually apply what you learned here, even if it's just for 30 minutes a day. Make sure you watch the full thing without skipping, so that way you don't miss any important parts. So this 30-minute framework that I follow every morning is very repetitive. It's almost boring to a degree, which is why I hadn't made this video before. But let's talk about it here today because I do think it's gonna be extremely useful for you guys. First things first, I open up 3 tabs on my computer: TradingView, Forex Factory, and my FX book, Position Size Calculator. So once I get these 3 tabs open, I actually go on TradingView and I start checking through my watch list. I go here on the right, I either have a couple of pairs set up on my watch list or I have all of the Forex pairs which I analyze. So if I have any markets on my watch list from the day before or the week before, then I'll just go on here and I'll check them out if they've moved correctly or if they still need to be weighted a little bit longer. And what I'm looking for here on this list, let's say I get rid of the watch list and I only have a list of Forex pairs. Let's say we're starting completely fresh. What I'm doing is I'm only looking for the markets that are trending, which have a possibility of having a trade. It needs to be trending, but also at a point where it's reasonably close to where it could potentially pull back and then I could find an entry on it. So just doing that alone already reduces my list of about 20 to 25 Forex pairs down to like less than half. So now that we're less than half, to reduce it even further, what I do is I add additional filters. So for example, I will be looking at things such as the moving average. Right here, this 50 EMA is kind of a guide for me to know, are we trending? Is the market respecting it? So for example, in this random pair that I just clicked on, the market actually is holding it and it's trading below the EMA and it's also trending just based off of this quick analysis. Now you usually do a full top-down analysis starting off on the daily, then going down into the 4-hour and then going down into the 1-hour. But in this case, we could clearly see that we are respecting that EMA. So I go through my list and eventually I get down to about 3 to 4 Forex pairs, 4 markets essentially. Sometimes 3, sometimes 5, but on average it's around 4 markets that I'm going to go ahead and take to the top of my list and add them to something called my watch list. These are the main pairs that I'm looking at any given time. That way, if later on in the day, if I do a separate routine of like 15 minutes at the end of the day or something, which I will talk about here in this video, I don't have to check all of the pairs again. I can simply just go on my watch list and that saves me so much time. Because imagine you had to reanalyze all of those markets if you just want to check something really quickly. It wouldn't be logical. So I take the top 3 or 4 to my watch list, and these are the ones where we're actually gonna narrow down and find a trade on. What I do once I have these is, first of all, I'll run a top-down analysis on it. I'll make sure that we're aligned on multiple time frames. And I'm looking for something called confluences. All that word means is reasons to enter a trade. Confluence means things coming together. But in our case, when we're talking about it in trading, it just means what factors are going to come together in order to make this trade, whatever trade that we're potentially looking at, a good market to enter and a good trade to take. I like to have at least 5 total confluences, and out of those 5, for me to feel confident in taking a trade, I want to have at least 4 of them. So let's run through some examples here of what could be 5 confluences. Okay, so right here I just wrote down 5 examples. It could be having the market bounce off of an EMA. It could be the higher time frames being in alignment. So for example, you see both the daily and the 4-hour in a specific direction. That's another confluence. A third confluence could be having some type of entry trigger. It could be an engulfing candle, or it could be a rejection wick candle. The fourth one could be the 4-hour time frame is showing you a market structure that is consistent and predictable, which means it's most likely going to continue to respect a trend. And you'll see that with a series of lower highs or higher lows if you're looking to buy. And then the last one could be an area of interest. This can also be called support and resistance, supply and demand. It could be called any one of those things, but essentially a price level at which price has previously reacted at multiple times, and it's likely to continue to react to that. I just thought of another one right now, which would be a psychological level. This could be your 6th confluence. Now, what do I say? I would say do not only take a trade if it has half of it. So if you have 6 in this case and you only have 3 present at one given moment, I would not say that's enough to take a trade. You need to have at least 4, but ideally 5. If you have 5 out of 6, that is a very high quality trade. If you have 6 out of 6, it's even better. That's considered an A+ trade. If you have 5 total confluences, then look for at least 4 out of the 5. But essentially you wanna use this as a filter once you're down to your watch list. So let's say I'm checking out GBP USD, Euro NZD, GBP CAD, and USD JPY. These are just 4 markets that I'm checking. This applies to any market, by the way. Let's say I'm checking these out. Okay, USD JPY, okay, right now, it's obviously not pulling back. It's not at my EMA. Let's move on to the next one. This one isn't, this one isn't. Let's use GU since it's the closest to a possible entry right now. Maybe these other ones, maybe they still have good potential for a trade, but they're not currently there yet. So simply what you do in that case, if it's not quite at the level, you either place an alert or you just come back later in the day to check once the market has reached that specific level. Essentially what you're doing is you're waiting for at which price would the market have to reach for me to have that 4 out of 5 confluences. Where does it have to go for me to have most of my list checked off? And then you can take the trade. Now you might be asking, what if I miss it? What if I check later in the day or tomorrow and I already missed the move? Well, first of all, that's why we're trading on the higher time frames. So you have a less chance of that happening. And on top of that, we're gonna add in a 15-minute routine to the end of the day during the Asian session is what I would recommend, which is really going to make this even more foolproof or fail-proof that you would not miss as many setups. And worst case, even if you do, that's why we have 4 markets on our watch list and not just 1. So even if you miss one, chances are throughout the week, you will still be able to find at least 1 or 2 high quality trades, which is all you need. By the way, this is at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So every day at around 9 a.m., I'm going to do this process and follow this framework. So far, that first process that I just did of filtering out the 20 to 25 pairs, that alone takes like 15 minutes. Then doing your top-down analysis and marking out how many confluences you have on your watch list, that takes at least another 10 minutes. So we're already 25 minutes into the framework. Another thing you would do, which only takes about 1 minute, is to go on Forex Factory, refresh the page, and check what type of news you have for the day and for the week. In this example here, you would see, oh, USD has a bank holiday, so maybe it's best to avoid trading it. If you have some type of very high impact news, avoid trading right before it. Just trade after the news. And just check this out and make sure you're safe and there's not going to be some massive news like something called CPI, FOMC, NFP, and anything related to interest rates. As long as you don't have that, you should be good. Then that only takes around a minute. You guys saw how I just did it right there. Now, the last one, myfxbook.com. This position size calculator is what you're gonna use to tell you how much to risk per trade. You don't have to guess how much you wanna risk. You're going to calculate your risk based on a percentage of your total capital. If it's a funded account, for example, you should be looking at risk around 1%. If it's a live account, depends how much experience you have and how aggressive you want to go. That could be anywhere from 2 to 3% on a fairly conservative level, or you could even go up to 5%. I wouldn't go above 5%, but you could go up to 5 if you want to be more aggressive. That's the framework though. Once you finish doing this 30-minute routine in the morning, you can go on to your life, you could go work your job, you can go work on your business, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. The idea here is that by you being separated from the markets, it's actually going to help you more than it's going to hurt you. I don't know why, but there's this false misconception that the more time you spend trading, the more you're going to make. And that can simply not be further from the truth. I noticed that when I used to day trade, when I used to spend hours on the charts, not only would I not perform as well as I do now, but I would occasionally get very stressed out from trading, lose money, and I would revenge trade and over trade in any particular day. Because when the trade frequency is higher, it puts more stress in your emotions and you have to make more decisions. There was a really famous guy, I don't know if it was Benjamin Franklin or something. I'm not gonna say any names exactly, I don't really know. But there was a very famous guy in the past that said, you can only make 1 or 2 very good decisions in a day. And I agree with that. You have a decision-making fatigue. The more decisions you make, the more tired you get, the lower the quality is. If throughout a week you only make a couple of decisions on what trades to be in, I'm telling you, your results are going to get better. This is especially useful if you've already been trading, if you've already been day trading, losing money, or just haven't seen the type of results that you want to see. It hasn't been predictable and consistent. This is probably why. It's because the emotions in day trading is extremely difficult to get past. That's why I've personally only met a handful of very successful day traders that can consistently produce profits. I did it for a while as well. It's possible. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not possible to day trade and to trade on the 5-minute time frame. Of course it is possible. And if in the future you want to do that for fun, you can go ahead and do it. But if you wanna make money and you wanna just add this as an additional source of income, and you want the most straightforward process of getting there, do swing trading first. Master this first. If you can master this, later on you can add day trading, because by then you're gonna be so stabilized and you're gonna know that you're a profitable trader. But jumping into day trading, that's why I said at the beginning of this video, most of the information that's given by educators is garbage, because they tell you to jump in the small time frames and they know that you have a 99% chance of not succeeding on those time frames. But if you trade this way, I think the odds are gonna be more stacked in your favor, and it's ultimately gonna depend on how consistently can you follow a process like this. Now let's talk about the last 15-minute framework that I do at the end of my day. So this is not totally necessary, but I would recommend a 15-minute routine at the end of the day of one more check. So the check, it goes like this. I will get back on my computer. I'm not gonna check Forex Factory now, just gonna be on TradingView. What am I checking for? I'm checking for only the pairs that are on my watch list. I'm quickly reviewing what they have done and where they have gone. Is it at my level? Do we have now enough confluence for me to potentially take a trade here? So in this case, let's say I have my zone down here, 1.85. This is like psychological level. We have a lot of confluences there. Let's say this is the level at which I want to buy. And right now it's, at the time of making this video, it's 2 p.m. But assuming it was 9 a.m., I would come back during the nighttime. This would be during Asian session or early. It could be in the nighttime or in the afternoon. I would say anywhere from 4 to around 9 to 10 p.m. is usually when I would recommend it. And this is, if your time zone is in the US, you're gonna be checking the markets in the morning and checking the markets in the nighttime or in the late afternoon. Let's say at that time, this market actually is down here. The cool part is during the Asian session, there is less volume, and a lot of the times the market will come right back to the point at which you can enter in. So I have found a lot of good entries at that time, around the 8 p.m. time. In that case, if the market was down here, I would go ahead and take that entry. I would take it. I would make sure my stop loss is set up. That process to check my 4 pairs on my watch list, it does not take more than like 10 minutes. And then I added an extra 5 minutes in there to essentially check on your stop losses you either placed in the morning from the trade that you took in the morning, or on the new stop loss that you're going to have on your new trade that you just executed here in the second session of the day. But you just kind of want to filter out quickly. Okay, we're good. Okay, here we're good for a trade, so let's actually enter in. Or if I entered a trade in the morning, let's make sure my stop loss is still in the correct place so I can be in the best position to win. That's it. It's a quick checkup. You're not checking your full list at the nighttime. You're just checking the watch list. That's a routine. If you can follow a routine like this and just make it a part of your life every single day, Monday through Friday, it's gonna be hard to not get consistent results in trading. I'm telling you right now, if you learn a consistent strategy, you trade one time frame, one method, or one time frame analysis method, one actual strategy, one type of market, it's gonna be hard to not get consistent results if you start showing up at the same times every single day. That's my advice to you. I hope you follow it so you can start getting results. And one more thing, right before I leave you to go try this routine, there is something that I have to explain, that if you don't use this mindset, if you don't have this framework going into it, like this mental frame, it's not gonna work. So it might seem like this advice is a little bit unrelated, but I'm telling you it's not. It's actually perfectly related to this. And it's that you have to start thinking in probabilities. So if you actually want to do trading and you want this to work, you have to start thinking that every single trade, it either has a chance of winning or it has some chance of losing. Every single profitable strategy in the world is going to have that chance. It doesn't matter how good you think your strategy is, it's never going to have a 100% chance of winning. That's fine, because our strategy could be very profitable following a 50 to 60% win rate. But that also means on the other end of that, yeah, sure, you're winning half of the time. That sounds easy. But the hard part, the part that you don't realize now, is what happens on the losing part. You actually have to be okay with losing between 40 to 50% of the time. Most people are not designed to handle losing half of the time or being wrong half of the time. But here you could be wrong half of the time and still make money. And the reality is, most traders, they're not thinking in probabilities. They are thinking on a trade by trade basis. Oh, I lost today on GBP USD, so I did something wrong. Let's figure out what I did wrong so I don't do it again. That's not how this works. You could have done everything correctly. You still would have not for sure guaranteed to have won that trade. It is good to go back and see if you did a mistake, but it's not necessarily the case. And if you just focus on the monetary outcome, you're gonna train yourself in the wrong way. You're gonna train yourself to optimize for profit. But I made that mistake a couple of years back where I would only optimize for like, okay, if I made profit on this trade, I did good. Eventually, I blew up my account because I was taking very risky trades because I was optimizing for what happened in every individual trade. Essentially, I would have big stop losses and small take profits because I thought to myself, oh, as long as I just keep winning, I'm good, until the big loss came because I didn't understand probabilities. I think if you can truly accept it, it's gonna make trading so much easier. And I think you're gonna be ahead of like 90% of traders if you just start thinking about probabilities. Now, I'm gonna give you one resource that I think could be very useful for you guys. Since you got to the end of the video, I'm gonna go ahead and share this with you. So one of the things that helped me out the most was on YouTube, there's someone called Mark Douglas. He's the author of the book, Trading in the Zone. First of all, I would recommend reading that book. It's by far the best book on trading psychology out there. But he also has a series on YouTube. He has a series on YouTube where he has 4 parts. Every part is like an hour long. If you can watch that, just listen to it while you're driving, listen to it while you're working out. I would highly recommend it. It's going to kind of put you in the right state of mind, because this framework that I gave you that I follow every single morning, it works if you combine it with the right frame of mind. That being said though, I'm gonna let you go ahead and apply this. With that said, if you are serious about becoming a profitable trader and you want help along the way to make this journey easier and faster, check the link below to become a part of the Ride the Wave team. And if you'd rather continue just watching the free content, then stay tuned because we do have some great things coming up soon. So I will see you in the next one.